You know, it's pretty wild to think that the future of one of the world's oldest mountain ranges, this incredible ecological shield for North India, could all come down to a single, simple definition. It sounds kind of like a riddle, right? But it's actually the reality at the heart of a huge controversy brewing in India. Okay, let's get in.
I mean, seriously, what makes a hill a hill? It's a question you would expect a little kid to ask, but the answer has become a massive national flashpoint. It's got environmentalists up in arms, it's sparked a political firestorm, and it's making us ask some really deep questions about how we protect our planet.
So this whole story really kicks off in India's Supreme Court. See, for years, nobody had a consistent way to describe the Aravalli Hills, which made it super tough to regulate land use and, stop illegal mining. So the court basically said, hey, we need a clearer, more scientific definition to sort out this mess.
And what was the solution they landed on? Well, with the push from the central government, the court accepted this rule, which is based on some global standards. For something to be a hill, it has to rise at least 100 meters from the ground around it. Seems pretty straightforward, doesn't it? But as you're about to see, that one little number, 100 meters, is what set off this entire firestorm.
But come on, why has this one technical rule caused such a massive uproar? I mean, it's just a definition. To get that, you have to understand what the Aravalli Range really is. Because, let me tell you, it is so much more than just a bunch of hills on a map.
The Aravallis are basically a life support system. They're this huge green wall that is literally stopping the Thar Desert from creeping further east. They soak up rain and recharge the groundwater from millions of people in a really dry region. They help clean up the polluted air in Delhi, they feed major rivers, and they're a critical highway for wildlife like leopards. They do it all.
And listen to this quote from filmmaker Chandramouli Basu. It really puts the human stakes into perspective. He's saying the loss of this ecosystem isn't just some abstract environmental issue, it's an existential threat to one of the most crowded places on the entire planet.
So with the stakes being that high, you can bet people weren't going to stay quiet. The whole thing just exploded online. The hashtag #SaveAravalli started trending everywhere as regular citizens and activists mobilized to turn this complicated legal thing into a national call to action. And this number became the rallying cry. Experts started warning that the strict 100-meter rule doesn't cover all these low-lying ridges and forests that are still a vital part of the ecosystem. And their estimate? That this new definition could leave a jaw-dropping 60% of the Aravalli landscape unprotected and wide open for business, to mining and real estate developers who've been eyeing this land for a long, long time.
And when that kind of pressure builds up online, it doesn't stay there for long. It quickly leads from social media right into the halls of power. The whole issue became super political, forcing leaders to draw lines in the sand and take very public and very different sides.
And it turned into a total clash of narratives. On one side, you had opposition leaders accusing the government of basically changing the definition just to help out mining companies, claiming it would destroy most of the range. And on the other side, the ruling party fired right back, calling it all fear-mongering and saying people were misreading the court order, insisting that no protections were actually being weakened. Okay, so let's look at the government's official reasoning for backing this new definition. They argue it's not about destroying anything. For them, it's about one thing: clarity.
Here's the core of their defense. They say the whole point of this isn't to open the floodgates for more legal mining. No, they argue that having one clear, uniform standard is actually the best weapon they have to finally get a handle on the rampant illegal mining that has been tearing up the region for decades.
And to push back against that really alarming 60% figure from the activists, the Union Environment Minister came out with this number. He claims that mining will only be allowed in this tiny little fraction of the area, just 0.19%. I mean, the gap between 60% and 0.19% just shows you how incredibly far apart these two sides really are.
So when you boil this whole intense debate down, it all comes back to that one fundamental conflict. It's truly a question of definition.
See, for environmentalists, the argument is that you just can't protect a living, breathing system with a ruler. They believe that all of it, the hills, the forests, the areas that collect groundwater, it all works together as one big integrated landscape. And for them, protecting that whole system is what matters, no matter if some ridge happens to be 99 meters tall instead of 100.
And all of this leaves us with a really powerful final thought, one that goes way beyond just the Aravalli Hills. When we try to use the rigid language of law to draw these neat mathematical lines around the messy, interconnected reality of nature, what gets lost? What crucial parts of the story just disappear in translation?